Guys, I got a real bad case of swollen nuts. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Customer states, Carl, help me with my lug nuts. I can't get them off. We have new Dodge style lug bolts. They're not lug nuts. That's all one piece. Beauty caps, even worse. Long taper, fuses to the aluminum that they use on Dodge. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, you can see that these lug nuts have been through hell and back. This one that he failed to get off was already pretty messed up. My go-to for this, just like with lug nut keys where you don't have the key, is a 12-point deep well impact socket. Hammered it on there. As I'm hammering it, it flours it out. See the flour? The outside shell's gone. I take a bigger size socket that fits over the lip of the lug nut and hammer it. It hits that lip. The vibrations help this fuse to the aluminum taper kind of break free. After hammering the 17-12 point on there, it just slipped right off. It's like, let's go to these extractor sockets. I have them in my Amazon store. I don't even know what they're called. XVA or whatever. Took the 17 mil out. These were originally 19 millimeter. When they lose their beauty caps, they turn into 18 millimeter. We had to go a size lower. Hammered the 17 on there. Used my Olsa Tools breaker bar. And it's all about the motion of the ocean. It's not about how strong you are, guys. You gotta get it to break free. Once it cracks free, you're golden. Right now, we have two more to get off. Already loosened these two. Got that horrible one off, and check out how much powder came out of there. Look at all this powder right here that came out. See, these Dodge aluminum rims, they like to fuse in the taper and rust in the threads. These are lug bolts, not lug nuts. It goes through the rim, through the rotor, and bolts into the hub. Let me take one of these I've already loosened all the way out for you to show you. One that hasn't been floured out. That was the worst one, so I wanted to start with it, and I wish I was filming. So that was a journey. My next step, if this extractor set didn't work, would be to drill out the stud, and then once I get the wheel off, then I gotta drill and extract it from the hub threads. This is what they're supposed to look like. They have this beauty cover. You can see this one is starting to peel off. It moves inside there. Water gets inside there, swells them up, and then they become a different size socket. Where's my flip socket at? So yes, I do have the flip sockets. This is in my Amazon store as well. The Steelman Pro, 19.5, 18.5 for the swollen sockets. But on top of being swollen, they're also seized in there. So the little bit of slop that you get, because it's not a perfect 19.5, everyone's a little different size. What we want to do is compact it back down to a 19 millimeter. There's my 19. There's my 19. So yeah, swollen lug nuts are a common problem, and that's fine. But when they're swollen and seized, you don't want to go to the half-size sockets. You want to go back to your 19, or if you're using a 21 on a Chevy or something, it won't go all the way over there. We want to take it, the vibrations will help, but also the tightness. It's going to get real tight so that we got a solid grip with our socket, because they're also seized. The vibrations against that lip help unseize that taper. Let me take our breaker bar. Everybody says, why don't you step on it? Why don't you push down? It's better for your back. No, I get more control pulling up. I don't care what you say. It works for me. You do you. And I give it a shimmy shake. See, the actual wheel is turning. Let me put the lift down a little bit more. Sometimes you got to put a board on the brake pedal to keep them from spinning, or have a buddy hit the brakes, because that's how bad they are. Right there, we cracked it free, we're golden. Now we take our tool. I love using the Olsa tools for this. I have 2 other breaker bars over there, but this flat profile here really allows me to unfree the socket like this way. You take your breaker bar, if it's shaped like this, you go that way. Up, down while pulling out with my hand, and it comes back out for me. One more time. The last one to break free. It doesn't fit on there all the way. It starts, but then it gets really fat. You gotta hammer them on there. You gotta get those vibrations going. The noise change, you can tell it hit the bottom. Now we wanna get a few more vibrations for that lip to break the taper free. That's gonna break our taper free. We still got rust to fight on the ends of these, where they kind of peek out the hub and just get rusty at the end. And you can just see all the dirt and debris coming out of here. That's a seized lug nut. There's so much material coming out of all these threads. So it's like, oh, tire rotation, 15 bucks, right? Not today, buddy. Gotta charge you a little more. What we're gonna go ahead and do, seeing how every single lug nut, all 20 are swollen, we're gonna get them a set of 20 of these new ones. And we wanna get the style without the stupid beauty caps. I heard Ford gets these for 25 cents a piece. They're lug nuts. Meanwhile, we're paying $4 a piece at the parts store. I wish they would like spend an extra 25 cents and get
better than those government bolts. 9,000 each. And
let's see if I can get the last one. So far, I've been able to get them all by hand. Had to use the extractor on the one really bad one. That's the sound you want to hear, though. Give it the old motion. I'm telling you, it works. Pull upwards. When you're going downwards, you get more control.
I like to spit on them first. Give them that.
Give them the. And there we go. We have all 5 on this wheel broken free. The other 3 wheels were trouble, but not like this wheel. This wheel got over torqued. So if you live in the Rust Belt, you got oxidization problems, corrosion, whatever type of aluminum alloy Dodge has been using for 15 years or so. Loves to seize to these. You got the beauty caps playing into effect. Over torquing is a big one. And lack of maintenance, like rotating your tires when you should, every 8, 10, 15,000 miles sometime, more than every 50,000, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you got multiple factors going into this, and basically, if it was a different design of lug nuts, that's all it would take to fix this problem that we go through every day. Just a different design of lug nuts. Because there's some of those lug nuts on those old trucks, they've been on 50 years, they come right off. This crap, this beauty cover crap, this type of aluminum Dodge uses, the only ones I ever see seize to the actual aluminum itself, the bimetal corrosion or whatever, is the Dodge aluminum. Whatever type of aluminum they use, it's garbage. Stop using it, Dodge. All right, now we got to get our socket back. And of course, if this method doesn't work, there's something about this breaker bar. It works every time. But I've struggled in the past, and I actually made an air chisel bit just for lug nuts. And go ahead and unscrew your lug nut the whole way, put it in the vise, and punch it out with the air chisel. Don't have an air chisel,
there you go.
Use a screwdriver and a hammer, punch it out the backside, replace your lug nuts. But there's something about the shape of this breaker bar at the end. It's got like this ball and this flat side.
It's the same one that I got. Yeah.
It's just something about being able to really tug this way. It's got this little pivot in it that allows for a little play that really, it snaps it free. I don't know. I've gotten a Harbor Fart. I'm exhausted from doing all these wheels. I've got the Harbor Fart.
You're starting to sweat a little bit.
Yeah, I've got a few breaker bars over there, but when it comes to lug nuts, this is the one I use. It's something it has that little bit of play.
Mine does
so that
too,
you get,
and I've had to replace that little
yeah, you
nub.
get that little extra bit to
I
slam
agree
on.
with you. Mine's the same.
Gotcha. But anyways, that's Dodge Dart, seized and swollen lug nut fix. Got them off, replace them.